Yo, what's going on, everybody? The Cool Geek here, and I'm actually another video. And today I'm going to be debating Khetzy, another YouTuber that has a relative sub count to me, on whether or not the Raikage and Minato are light speed or above. Let's get into it.
Okay, so what are we in disagreement on? Because I'm pretty sure it's just on Minato scaling in general.
Yeah, and the Raikage too. I think that both Minato and the Raikage are faster than light.
Okay, fast and light.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of fine. Okay, so essentially when we made that video, we just said the faster than light thing, right? But I'm pretty sure we're in disagreement on where Minato scales because you scale much higher than I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I do, because people tend to think I'm pretty generous with Minato. Um, yeah, and that I may or may not be a little bit biased. But then again, I'd be a little bit biased towards the Raikage as well. But also Haku, right? Because I just like fast characters in general. So I don't think I would be like more biased towards,
Mhm.
like Minato more so than Haku. Same with like the Raikage. Um, but yeah, I do think that like the scale would be like Haku would be light speed. I think the Raikage would be a good few times faster than light, and then Minato would be like quite a bit faster than light.
Okay, so you can go about this in different ways, right? So you could just your argument with it, I assume, would just be Haku blitzing like Kakashi in the work is like an outlier.
No. I think no, I don't wait, why would you think like Kakashi would be like faster than Minato? I think that's the thing. Or even the Raikage, because I don't think he would be.
That Kakashi.
Yeah.
Um. Well, do you? I would. Well, I think Kakashi got much stronger as the war progressed. So I wouldn't know if he would be like stronger than Minato at that moment, right?
Mhm.
But I do think he should be like relative in speed to him. I don't scale Minato high at all, and he's one of my favorite characters.
Okay. I guess we should get it. Okay, I'll get into why I think the Raikage and Minato would be above that, right? So, I think that Kakashi's really strong, but I don't know why he would be like approaching Minato speeds or even the Raikage, um, because even like let me see, what's a good example, right? Um, if we take into example that the Raikage, right? He should know that well, okay. Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. I haven't argued this in a while. Sorry. Okay. So the Raikage, right?
Wait, before we establish anything, we need to establish how fast Minato is to begin with.
Sure. Okay. So Minato, he should be relative in base, right? He should be relative to KCM to Naruto, if not like faster in terms of speed.
Okay, I disagree. I say he's relative to like KCM1.
Okay. All right. So I'll present my case, right? So,
So are we essentially just going to debate Minato scaling?
uh, um, I don't know. I guess we can sort of see where it goes. So, I'll present my scaling and sorry about that. And like why it works. So pretty much Minato, this he scales to the nine tails in terms of speed, right? Because he, for a few reasons. For one, he was able to like react to it and such. This is reaction speeds, of course, not necessarily like travel speeds or anything. Although you can argue travel speed as well, but he should scale to the full nine tails, which is where KCM to Naruto gets like all of his power pretty much. At least depending on how you think the KCM cloak works. But either way, I don't think you can really argue that KCM to Naruto would be like that much faster than like the full QB, if that makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I did agree with that. So I believe the nine tails and every other tailed beast is just very slow. The scene I believe you're referring to is either the tailed beast bomb or like when he saves Kushina when she's on the rock.
Yeah,
Am I right with that?
yeah, Yeah, those.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, we can see that like HCM2 Naruto's like Kurama avatar is like scrapping his relative in speed to like multiple of the Biju, right? And these are the same Biju that people like Kakazu and Hidan were able to battle. So I don't even think they're fast in general.
Um, I mean, Hidan and Kakuzu are also really fast. I don't know why you would like say they're not fast because they scale to Hidan and Kakuzu. Um, I mean, Hidan is like the slowest Akatsuki member, but
I
Akatsuki
would
members.
say
Oh, go on.
no. You go. You already started.
Okay, yeah, but Akatsuki members are supposed to be no joke anyway, right? All of them are supposed to be like S rank criminals, and Biju, right? They're supposed to be like the ultimate weapons of like their village. So, that it would make sense that the Biju should scale above pretty much most members of the. Not saying like all of them, but most members of their village should be like below Biju levels in terms of AP, speed, etc. Because they're just so strong. Also, even like raw AP in Naruto, for the most part, with a few exceptions, obviously, but for the most part, AP and speed are pretty correlated because chakra it directly amps all stats, especially in the cases of like some people like Lee. You could even argue it like amps speed more, but then again, there's like the flip side of that where like you can maybe argue like Choji from like part one, it would amp
Okay.
his like AP more, but for the most part, it amps like all
Okay.
stats.
Okay. So you said a lot, but essentially what I got from that is that your scaling is very inconsistent, right? So one, Hidan, self-admittedly the slowest Akatsuki member, but you mentioned like, oh well, the Akatsuki aren't a joke at all, right? Well, Hidan was sort of scaling relative in speed to like Kakashi, right? Like before Pain Arc, right? So essentially, if you were to say like dodging the Bijou was supposed to be impressive, then Kakashi would theoretically be able to do the same thing and he would like scale the Minato that way.
Sure, but do
It
you
just seems
know?
super inconsistent. And then you would be saying like he done. I
Oh no, go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
think we're having a delay. I think we're having a delay.
Oh,
You're
um,
fine. Talk. We're having a delay. I think.
okay. Yeah, but the issue with that, right, is that the Biju that Hidan and Kakuzu are reacting to was one of the slower Biju. So I think it makes sense, right? Because if we go off of Kurama's statement that like 9 chances out of 10 the Biju with the most tails is the strongest, this makes sense because like even like Biju with Jinchuriki, right? Like Gyuki and Kurama and the 10 tails, right? It's super easy to say, yeah, the 8 tails is like way weaker than the 9 tails, and the 9 tails is like way weaker than the 10 tails. And it would be the same with the rest of the Biju, right? Via Occam's razor. So the fact that the slowest Akatsuki member can
No,
keep
I
up with like,
disagree.
oh, you do? Okay, can you elaborate then?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with this. So one is in direct contradiction with the eight tails, right? So no, like I don't believe one statement would like lend credence more than the other, right? And then I don't see why the two tails would be like super slow compared to other tailed beasts. And even if you go off of tails, right, the three tails was capable of scrapping with KCM2 Naruto's Kurama avatar. I can show the scans if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to see those scans because it's not just Kurama's statement, right? It's also the fact that Gyuki directly scales below Kurama, and Kurama directly scales below the 10 tails, and also like Shikaku was kind of a joke back in part one, if that makes sense. But then again, you can argue that that's just like some weird
See,
outlier.
I don't think Shukaku has any anti-feats. If you want to, you could say like Gamabunta is like freaking skills relative to Kurama, then Shikaku was like bodying him.
I mean, you could argue that potentially, but there's definitely some issues with that. Um, like the fact that like why if the One Tails was so relative to Kurama, then why didn't Obito, summon Shikaku along with like the other Biju instead of like Madatabi or something? Why would he like leave out the strongest,
Your mic
Biju?
cut out for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why would
Can
Obito
you
like
repeat that?
yeah, why would Obito if Shikaku's like so relative to Kurama, then why didn't Obito summon Shikaku along with like, the other Jinchuriki instead of like Madatabi or one of the like the other Biju that weren't at all like relevant to, the Nine Tails?
His Jinchuriki wasn't there.
Um
We know Obito went and he summoned all the the Jinchuriki with their like actual Jinchuriki hosts, right? Gara was like healed.
Um, I mean, sure, but at the same time, there's like other Jinchuriki, like that happened before Gara. He could have easily summoned them with the Edo Tensei as well.
Just means Kabuto didn't have their bodies.
Um, okay, wait. So you don't think that he would go out of his way to get the host to the strongest Biju that he has under his control, but he would like try and find all the other ones?
I don't believe I said Shikaka was the strongest Biju. I just said like he wasn't a joke. If you wanted to, you could scale him to Kurama. And even then, if we went through your tailed beast standpoint of like every tail is stronger, that just means every other tailed beast and other Jinchuriki is just going to be stronger than Shikaka. So that's why I believe your argument's very like inconsistent.
Um, hold on. I'm not really
And
following
did
you.
you ever explain to me why the two tails is like um you said like okay, so you had asked like why Kabuto didn't go and get like a Jinchuriki for what would be like one of the strongest Biju, right?
Yeah,
And I
cause
told you, well, he didn't, so it's not like it's like out of character, okay? And two, if we went through your like premise of every tailed beast with more tails is stronger than the previous one, right? That would just mean every tailed beast would be stronger than Shikaku, right? That's why I think your argument is inconsistent.
okay. So I think okay. So
And
I
can
get
you explain to me why the two tails is like the slow?
Yeah, okay, so I think you sort of misunderstood what I was saying just a little bit. What I was saying isn't like Shikaku's like trash overall. I'm saying like in comparison to like every other Biju, if that makes sense, right? Like let me see what's a good example. Like Shikaku's still really strong, right? He's the entire reason Gara was like, the strongest member of the Sand Village. That sort of leads credence to what I was saying. Like Biju are really strong, but in comparison to stronger ones, like the two tails should logically be above, because Obito. Because if the Shikaku scales to the nine tails like at all, then it would make sense for Obito to get out of his way, because as we saw, Kurama body slammed all of the other Biju like really badly. Um, so if Shikaku would have made the difference, like Obito's really smart, right? He's the same person that was able to like manipulate, Nagato into like doing pretty much everything he wanted to. He would have known to get Shikaku and bring him if he would have been like this game changer.
That just he could have just chosen not to. He didn't feel it was necessary. I don't see how you can just say 100% that this is the case.
Because here's the thing. Obito has saw Kurama in action before. He should know what Kurama is capable of. So, and like I said, he's really smart. So if
You
he's
know
seen,
Shikaku?
wait a second.
Like, yeah, we're having such a delay. I just said, do you does Obito know how strong Shikaku is?
He should, because Datara fought Shikaku's like Jinchuriki. Even if you want to leave that part out, right? Obito should know everything about, for example, the fourth Kazekage, right? That's a perfect example. The fourth Kazekage was known for bodying for consistently bodying the one tails, right? And then here comes like what's it called? Here comes like sorry, hold on. Here comes Orochimaru, right? Bodying him, right? And that, and then what's it called? Obito and Pain, right, were the two people in control of the Akatsuki. So, and Orochimaru was a member of the Akatsuki. So there's no reason to think that that Obito shouldn't know what Orochimaru is capable of. So, and if he knows what someone capable of bodying someone who's capable of bodying the One Tails is capable of, and that person, and then that One Tails is supposed to be like stronger than the Nine Tails, Obito should know, because Orochimaru would be this like many many times stronger than Nine Tails. That's actually another really good point that I just thought of, is the fact that not trying to shotgun here, but
I
one more.
attack this first,
Oh, go on.
but talk.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, this is the last point for now. But what I was gonna say is that another good point is that Orochimaru, who's the person who bodied the fourth Kazekage, who bodied the One Tails consistently, he was like swapping hands with the four-tailed version 2 Naruto. Um, and this Orochimaru should be like really strong in comparison to the One Tail. So that would definitely mean that Shikaku is like not at all compared to the full Nine Tails, or any like tailed version of it. Around like four tails or higher. Like it would be much lower because Orochimaru
Okay.
bodied someone who bodied the One Tails.
Okay, so I don't think saying Obito knew about Rasa, therefore he knew about Shikaku is a good standpoint, right? Because he could just view Rasa as being weak. What was another point you said? You said a lot. um, what else? Oh, the Rasa point. I believe when the Orochimaru didn't body Rasa, he had like Kabuto and Kimimaru there. I believe I remember. I can check for myself, but I believe he said like Kimimaru couldn't have done this without you, right? So wouldn't they even be direct scaling?
So wait, you
Oh,
think?
and one more thing. Important thing is Obito wasn't using Rasa, it was Kabuto, right? So for all we know, Obito didn't even know like Kabuto brought back Rasa.
Um, okay, so the brought back thing wasn't really what I was referring to. It was just the fact that like it's sort of like you said, right? If Obito viewed Rasa as weak and he knew the lore, because this is very well known that Rasa bodied the One Tail, right? It's pretty common. I think it's in the
Is
data
it?
book. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in the data books. I can see if I can find it. But so
I
Rasa.
have the data book. I don't know if the characters know that.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure in one of the data book pages I was looking at it, because I reread through every so often periodically when I'm thinking of new video ideas. But if I remember correctly, it was stated that the third Kazekage was viewed as like the strongest ever, and the fourth was the one who was like the father of Gaara, who bodied the One Tails, or something to that effect, right? It was talking about their inverse lore, um, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the third Kazekage.
No, I mean I said part of it was the
The
third
third
Kazekage.
Kazekage is the strongest
Yeah,
Kazekage.
I know. Sorry, I must have cut out because I said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that the third was stated to be the strongest, and then the fourth was stated to consistently body the One Tails. Those, it was in the same like data book page. That's why I mentioned both of them together.
Okay, well, if we go through this route, right, I could scale Sasori super low and say Sasori beat the third Kazekage, who's the strongest Kazekage, right? And then that would as well make Shikaku weak. And
Yeah, in comparison to the Nine Tails, yeah, that's pretty much
I
my
don't
entire point.
like, okay. I don't see. Wait, okay, wait. What's this point about?
Yeah, I'm saying that the Nine Tails is significantly stronger and faster than all the Biju. By the way, the Biju that the Nine Tails actually bodied,
I'll
KCMC
see
Naruto when he
speed.
bodied them, they were actually amped. You know about that, right?
By in base, yes. I don't believe they were amped in their Bijou state
Okay. So, uh, why do you think they were amped in base, but it wouldn't carry over to their Biju state?
because it was stated it was because they're dojutsu, right? And if you want to go around the Toby Ram argument, what he said like chakra pours in from the brain into the eyes, and then that's when they have the Sharingan, right? So I don't see why they would be amped when they were fully transformed.
Um, sure. It's because of the fact that just the way the Rinnegan rods work in general. The entire way the Rinnegan rods work to control corpses anyway is by injecting the user's chakra into them. That's the whole reason, Nagato was able to like paralyze Sage, or not Nagato, but like the what was it, the Diva Path of that Nagato's controlling. He was able to paralyze Naruto because the rods inject the user's chakra, and we see when the Biju are in like full Biju mode, right? They still have the Rinnegan rods in them. Actually, they're exponentially bigger. So if anything, the amp that the
Do
Biju
they?
got, yeah, they do.
No, those are different rods.
You don't think that they were Rinnegan rods that Naruto
They're
had to
different
pull out?
rods. Those were different rods. They were specifically Obito's rods, which are stated to be stronger than Nagato's.
Okay, well that just solidifies my point
Also,
further.
Obito said you couldn't pour that much chakra, at least the tailed beast. I don't
Um,
believe even if you say they were stronger, it wouldn't be like significant.
Hold on, two things. The thing about him like not being able to pour chakra into them. No, he said that he couldn't like rapid fire spam all of the Renegon's like abilities, right? All of the crazy large scale stuff like Shinra Tensei, Bancho Tenin, the missiles and laser beams. Just like making them physically stronger for like a stable period of time is far less taxing than doing a bunch of like large scale jutsu, if that makes sense. Um, you get what I mean?
I'm gonna post the exact scan so we can look at it. Because I believe from what Kakashi's saying, right? He's like, it would take too much chakra to give them these abilities, and Obito's like, "Oh, you're correct, Kakashi. Like, you're a smart one."
Yeah.
But don't even believe, even if you were to say, right, he's pouring some chakra into their fully tailed beast Bijou states, right? It wouldn't be significant at all.
I mean,
Like,
how
I do
strong?
believe this is just in their base.
Well, how strong do you think Obito is in comparison to the Biju? Because we both agree
Um,
that
that's
oh, sorry, you go.
we talk the connection. I might have to switch to my phone if my computer's being like this.
Oh, okay. So basically, what I was saying is that from what we know, right, is that Obito himself was supposed to be like, in the eyes of like Minato, was supposed to be like a greater threat than the Nine Tails, right? And what do you call it? And the Biju are significantly weaker than KCM2 Naruto. And if we just going off of that, right, then Obito would have to be stronger than the Biju significantly. So I don't see why he wouldn't have like enough chakra to just make them physically stronger and faster. Like again, pulling out all those crazy hacks is different, right? Because we know just from like Nagato in general, like when Pain was like just throwing hands with the Naruto transformed into like the Nine Tails, when he just was like throwing punches, he was fine, right? He could have done that all day. But once he pulled out Shibaku Tensei is when he started having nosebleeds and like started coughing up blood. So I think again that's a really big
Yeah.
deal.
Okay, so to attack the Obito point, one, what Minato said, you could either interpret it as hyperbole or you could say he's wrong, which is what I think I'm gonna say, right? Because threat, just because you say someone's more a threat than someone doesn't mean they're stronger, right? Um, Someone can be more of a threat to me, but it doesn't mean they're stronger than them. Like there's more of a potential for attack, right? So you could just be a threat, like stronger than the Nine Tails, because the Nine Tails isn't going to attack them often.
Um, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I don't necessarily agree fully. I agree partly, but not fully. Uh, I sort of agree that like the Nine Tails that probably wouldn't go out of its way to attack the village randomly under most circumstances. But where I start to disagree is that both of them are physically assaulting the village, right? And if both of them are physically assaulting the village, and everyone knows that the Nine Tails can like destroy mountains by whipping its tails around, right? And who knows how everyone, especially Minato, because his wife, right, was the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails was traditionally sealed inside of Uzumaki women, for however many generations. I don't remember. Um, Minato should have a really good idea of how strong this thing is. And if the Nine Tails is just gonna like just doo-doo on the entire village in an instant, I don't care how many times Obito comes back to the village or does whatever. If the Nine Tails one-shots the village, that's infinitely worse than anything Obito can do if he's like not nearly as strong.
Yeah, well, the Ninetales can actually be stopped. We see Hiruzen's able to push it out. We see Kushina's confident that Minato can actually like destroy the Ninetales, but he chose to seal it inside Naruto to make sure they still have the weapon in him. I dropped the scans. I do believe now, looking at the context, it's definitely like saying he's much more like of a potential danger. And also, even if you want to go out of like narrative, because I do think you tried to argue that a couple times, which it's fine. But freaking Madara Susano is what's stated to be rivaling the Bijou, right? So that would be like saying this Obito would be relative to like Madara Susano, which definitely isn't true.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Actually, if you want to go like, well, who's wrong in this instance, I would actually argue that Madara would more so be wrong than like Minato in this instance.
Mhm.
Or if anything, Madara was just being like too
Okay.
broad. I think that's more so correct. I think Madara was just too broad in what he was saying. Because Obito versus like Madara, right? I think, if we're going down like this line of reasoning, I would say that like Madara should definitely be stronger than the Nine Tails by a good bit, because if we look at Madara's like fight with Hashirama, we see like Hashi can like deal with the Nine Tails pretty easily, and Madara has to use his Susanoo to like physically protect the Nine Tails, right? Like literally, it's like armor, right? So if we use that as like an actual like, if we compare Madara Susanoo to like actual armor, and like the Nine Tails like a normal like creature, I guess, then Madara Susanoo would have to be
Mhm.
quite a bit stronger than the QB itself to like be armored to like protect it significantly, if that makes sense.
Problem with that is we can clearly see Madara Susano can take several tailed beast bombs, which I believe is would be the tailed beast strongest attack, right? And if you go along the line of like, oh, Kurama stays to be planetary and the data looks multiple times and in the games, right? And his Susanoo would blatantly be, rivaling the Bijou. And also, not many people know about this, but like in the game Shinobi Striker, there's like these game files where it states that like EMS Madara, like his Susanoo, like can like cut the earth.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. But here I'm saying that like,
You
okay,
want that?
actually, yeah. Can you please? Can I have that? Like, I'll say please.
Sure.
um, But yeah, so I'm not saying like the Biju are like stronger than Madara. I'm just saying like, I think, well, I to be fair, I guess that depends on like what you think it means to rival someone. I'm saying that I think Madara Susanoo would be significantly stronger than like all of the Biju, because of pretty much what you said, right? He can tank like, these crazy attacks that most of the other Biju, should like be able to like be relative to. He can tank like multiple of them at the same time. Or like, for instance, the Raikage, like how he thought that he was like the fourth Raikage, he thought he was so strong, right? He thought he was stronger than B. You can argue B is stronger or he's stronger because of the little like lariat they did, and like A lost, but I don't want to get into that, but A thought he was stronger than the eight tail Jinchuriki. And Madara, like he didn't flinch, right? Madara Susanoo didn't flinch. So I'm saying like Madara Susanoo should be like vastly stronger than the Biju, if anything. And then Obito would just be like roughly relative to like the Biju, whereas Madara is like vastly above, if that makes sense. Well, I guess that depends on what you think vastly means, but I think you get the picture.
Okay. So, just to touch on the Shinobi Striker thing, so this is in reference to like Madara's perfect Susanoo, right? Which he had just got with his EMS. But now to tackle this Obito point of like Madara Susanoo would be well above the Biju, whereas Obito would be like maybe relative. This would put Conan in a peculiar like situation, right? Because Conan was like weaker than like Jiraiya, right? So then you'd be saying like Jiraiya would be like relative to like these Biju, which would be like another inconsistency.
Well, you're presupposing that I'm presupposing that Conan's relative to Obito just because she caught him off guard with a few paper bombs.
Um,
All she did was exploit one of Obito's
no,
weaknesses.
so if you go around, no, if you go through like AP, right, then Conan's AP would scale relative to Obito, who, and I'm not presupposing anything. I'm saying this would be the line of scaling, which would make it inconsistent, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna deny that line of scaling. I just think that when Obito gets his like weaknesses exploited, I think it's a really big deal, right? Like, cause Conan, the only time she really damaged him was with the paper bombs, like that Obito was like trying to suck into Kamui, and the ocean of paper bombs, right? And the one with like him trying to suck the paper bombs into Kamui, he was blatantly off guard, right? He literally said like, "Yeah, I underestimated you," and like he was trying to suck them into Kamui, right? And we know whenever he like goes like intangible and he thinks he's gonna phase through something, usually he'll like let his guard down. Like, for instance, right, when he phased through like one of, I think, Naruto's attacks, and Kakashi like phased a Rasengan or like something. Yeah, it was a Rasengan. He phased a Rasengan like into the Kamui dimension at the same time, and it hit Obito. It like damaged him severely. But before that, Naruto launched a bunch of attacks at Obito, and it didn't do anything, right? So I think that Obito, when he's like phasing and he thinks he's not gonna get hit, he gets like a little bit cocky, I guess you can say, and he lets his guard down, quite a bit.
Yeah, so why would letting his guard down make his durability worse, right? Because this would just mean Konan's AP would like scale 2 or above Obito's, right? But she would scale weaker than Jiraiya, which would make it inconsistent because I believe it's clear Jiraiya was like struggling to keep up with like Four Tails Naruto, which means he's not near these Bijou levels.
Okay, I can explain to you why. So, Naruto being a show based off of like ninja, right? And they're clearly, at least to some extent, martial artists, right? And if we look at like real life martial artists, which is what inspired this show in the first place, right? If you look at pretty much any person, like pretty much ever, that fights, of course. Myself included. This happens to me sometimes too. If you have a fighter, right, and they're capable of like tangling with strong people, um, and then they brace for punches, right? If you go to punch me in the face, right, and if I want to tank your punch like I do sometimes, right, I'm gonna just flex my face muscles and I'm gonna meet you halfway there, right, and I'm gonna null your power with my face muscles, right. Same with if you go to punch me in the stomach, anywhere else, basically, right, I'm gonna tense up, brace for it. Whereas if I'm off guard, like say my siblings, right, they like to randomly hit me when I'm off guard. They'll like, cause I'm not ready for it, right? So like I'll have my stomach like relaxed, right? And I'm not tensing the muscles. So because I'm not focusing my energy, or in Naruto like their chakra, right, which makes them reach these super high levels. If they're not putting their energy to the location of the impact, then it'll be vastly weaker, if that makes sense.
Okay, so by your logic, I can semi use your logic against you, right? So would you say so you said when Obito like goes into Kamui or he's confident in his Kamui, he lets himself off guard, right? Do you
Um,
believe Obito was off guard when he got Rasengan by Minato?
when he got Rasengan by Minato, to a degree, not fully, because he did know that Minato teleported away from like his eye, so he had to know Minato was coming from another angle. Like he's Obito, right? He saw Minato fight in the war, so he had to know he teleports behind people consistently. Like that's one of the first things we see from Minato in the entire series is him teleporting behind someone. So Obito should know that it was coming. He just probably didn't know like directly above him, so he might have been off guard a little bit, maybe. Like I would be fine with
Okay.
that.
So I would say he was off guard. He literally like I mean I could yeah, okay. So he was off guard against Conan, got blown up, and he was off guard against Minato. And like Conan did more damage technically. So this would then I can show like scans of Jiraiya's AP scaling above Conan's if I need to, right? But this would just show it's inconsistent because Jiraiya would scale like 2 4 tails Naruto.
Well, I'm only arguing that Obito would be off guard in terms of like durability, and I'm saying Minato scales to Obito in terms of speed, not like AP or anything.
We got to this point, I think, because you said like you brought up like Obito was like a threat greater than Nine Tails, so I think that's how we got here. Okay, so now we go into why I think it's all inconsistent. Of like I don't know, what would your main argument be? Like Minato scales like Jibidara, because I don't want to like strawman you or
Oh,
anything.
I have used that before, but right now I'm not really gonna use that. I'm more so gonna argue that he was shown to be well, more than his showings, more so as like his statements in the war. Like Toby Rama seems to think that Minato's faster than him, and in a lot of instances he'll like ask Minato to do something like when Naruto's getting drained by the God Tree, Tobirama was like, "Yo, Minato, I'm not fast enough. Can you like save Naruto?" And Minato's like, "Sorry, that giant Rasengan drained me, along with like a little bit of the tree." Even though you never see at least in the anime, I think it is. It might. Yeah, I think it was in the anime. He says like the tree drained me or something, but like he's still in KCM, so it's kind of weird. Like KCM Minato's always really weird. Also he's been going through stuff throughout the entire war, so there's little weird stuff like that. But in Tobirama's head, right, Minato is supposed to be faster than him, and this is sort of backed up by when they go to the war, not the travel speed feat of like Minato appearing before them, but the fact that Minato appears there throws around a bunch of his flying Raijin markers, teleports the Jubi Biju Dama away, and then Tobirama gets there and is like, "Yo, you did what? That's crazy fast, dude." Stuff like that. And then not Tobirama, I'm sorry. And then Hiruzen's like, "Yo, you're fast as ever, bro. Cool." And this is all like Edo Minato doing these crazy things. And that's why I think. And then Tobirama was stated that like if he was like alive, he might have given like that the Rene Tensei Madara. I think he had like one eye at the time. He would have given that Madara like more trouble. Um,
Mhm.
so there's stuff like that. Why he'd be relative in terms of speed, not necessarily AP to the Nine Tails, but in terms of speed, definitely. And there's some other stuff too, but that's the main thing for now.
Okay. Um, so there's one thing that I do want you to show me, and that's just because I'm personally not aware of it. I don't want to I'm not being ignorant to it or anything, but can you show me Minato being told by Tobirama to go save Naruto, like because he physically wasn't fast enough? But
Oh yeah,
if
I
you can
got you.
show that, I mean, do you want me to talk about Tobirama saying the body flicker thing?
Oh yeah, you can
Or do
talk
you
about
want
that.
me to wait?
Yeah, you can talk about that. I'll get the scan, no problem.
Okay, so just Hiruzen's statement doesn't really matter to me. He's just saying he's like as fast as ever, which would mean like he's like relative to when he was alive, right? And Tobirama says, fourth, you're even better at teleporting than me. This is just like mastery over a technique, right? Because if like Madara goes and tells Naruto, bro, you're better at body flicker than me, that doesn't mean he's essentially faster than him. And I can drop the databook skin if you want of body flicker, but it's essentially just amping your feet with chakra so you can go faster.
Um, yeah, okay. I don't want to stay on this point for too long, but I will address it because I feel like it's getting into more so semantics. Because I guess it sort of depends on like what you think it means to be better than someone at like body flicker, right? Now this might sound a little bit weird, but hear me out, right? So if this is a technique that amps your speed and you're better with it than someone, I guess at that point it would mostly come down to like your base speed and what you think it means to be better than someone. It's like, okay, well, do you think the multiplier for body flicker is greater? Do you think it amps them to that makes you faster than that person overall? Like, I think just like it's a little bit vague. I don't think you can really say like it definitely means he's not as fast. Although I will like sort of say that it means it could mean that he just has like a bigger multiplier or something. Um, but yeah, that wasn't really the main thing. I was mostly talking about the when he teleports the Biju Bomb and the context surrounding, like when he gets to the sorry, to the battlefield. But yeah, let me find it.
So I'm sorry if you can hear family in the background. Okay. But I do believe it's just mastery over a technique. I see it possible that like Naruto could tell like Boruto like you're better at body flicker than me. It doesn't mean he's at all faster than him. Because if somebody has better speed feats than someone, which Toby Ram I believe does have better speed feats than Minato, right? And he goes and he says you're better at body flicker than me. That doesn't mean he's faster, right? If someone is shown to have better feats, but they don't have to be better at said technique. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Um, okay, so what better feats do you think Tobirama has than Minato? I think that'll be the biggest contention here.
Um, I am aware of the statement that KCM2 Minato was in a daze when he fought against Jubito and a little bit before that. I don't see why the days would make him slower. And this KCM2 Minato was blitzed by Obito, whereas Tobirama was able to react to unstable Jubito and not only put paper bombs on him, but also tag him with a flying Thunder God seal. So I
Per
believe that speed feat trumps anything that Minato has in KCM2 or alive.
Perfect. Okay, I can explain why being in a date. Well, first, before I get into that, I want to ask you a very important question. How do you think KCM2 amps a person? Do you think it's addition? Like, do you think it adds the Biju's power to them, or do you think it's like some sort of like multiplier that makes them like a gajillion times stronger? That's very important, by the way.
Um, I couldn't know for sure. I would if we're not trying to be like too ratty in this debate, I personally believe it's just adding more chakra to Naruto. I don't believe it's a multiplier.
Okay, cool. So if we think that it's just like adding power, right? Well, we know that chakra, or I know this. I don't know if you've seen the scan, but we know that chakra is like at least a third mental. It was stated in one of the data books that chakra is made out of physical and mental energy, and then also spiritual energy, right? Was stated like separately. So if someone's in a daze, right, what that
I'm aware.
means, yeah. So what that means is, they are mentally not there, right? It means they're having a lot of like mental fog and mental issues. So if your energy source is 1/3 mental, and your mental capacity is like doo doo, right? It's completely trash. Then that would make you like exponentially weaker potentially.
Do you well, at least I do believe the data thing is a good like answer, but do you believe that Kurama's chakra is more potent than Minato's? Because I would 100% say that.
Um, okay, this is an interesting question. So, okay, I guess I would have to say at this point that I think it's conditionally more potent. I'll word it that way. What I mean by that is that in
Can you
terms
define that?
yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, that was really weird of me to say, but what I mean by that, right, is I mean that like for example, when the Ninetales does something like charge up like a Biju Bomb, I think that the chakra within that Biju Bomb is more potent than say like Minato's like Rasengan or something, right? Um, but if we're talking about applying that chakra in terms of like speed, I don't know that I would agree that like the Ninetales gets like he can amp like use apply his chakra in like a speed amping way. It's similar to Minato, right? Like specifically what you said earlier, that if you think that like Toby Rama is saying like, yeah, you have more mastery over like body flicker than me, then it would make more sense to say that Minato, when it comes to applying his chakra to his speed, might have better potency than say Kurama, if that makes sense.
Mm, Minato's more chakra. Let me get an argument for this.
Okay. So
Okay, so we can see that like KCM1 Naruto goes from okay, so we can argue from base Naruto from here.
okay.
Okay, so base Naruto wasn't confident that he could even beat MS Sasuke, right? Then like he gets Sage Mode, right? You could argue his base got stronger from then. His base went from like reacting to like 50% of Kurama's tailed beast bomb when he was like training to get the KCM1 chakra to essentially getting this chakra, and he reacts like Renegon Obito. And when he gets KCM2, he actually makes Obito use Kamui, whereas in KCM1 Obito was able to like physically like maneuver and dodge him.
Okay, I guess the what we would go for here is, what do you think the difference between I guess, I mean, even to some degree, what do you think the difference is between like MS Sasuke and like EMS Sasuke, I guess would be the question at that point. Like what do you think the multiplier would be from MS to
Oh
EMS?
God. Um, if you go around Shisui several times, right? That could be something. But okay, so the way I would go about it is, I would say Sage Mode Naruto from like the Pain arc is like faster than MS Sasuke. I don't know if you'd agree to that, right? But I would say like MS Sasuke would then be like faster than like or if you would be on par with like Mastered KCM1 Naruto.
Um yeah, yeah, okay. I can agree to that. Yeah.
Um, so I do believe Kurama's chakra should be much more potent than Minato's. We can I sort of leave it at that if you want. Do you have another line of Minato scaling?
Well, hold on. I want to get a full conclusion to the question, because you sort of answered it, but I meant like, what would the number value be like? What do you think the difference, like in terms of like a multiplier between like MS and EMS Sasuke? That's more so what I meant.
Um, I don't think I could properly quantify it. Okay, if you want to go to the absolute extreme, you could say like Parrots Calc puts like KCM1 Naruto way above like freaking B, right? Or not BA, right? And you could go like that and say, okay, so the MS to EMS is like 72 times, but I believe that'd be super inconsistent, especially if you go with like Shisui's statement from like the novels that say like several times.
Okay, so what do you think?
Then you would
That's
say several can meet anything from like 3 plus. So I
yeah.
personally think it's really hard to quantify because EMS Sasuke has literally no feats at all. Um, yeah, at most, he like reacted to unstable Jibito once with his Susanoo.
Okay.
So if you want to take that, I'd say like I don't know how to put a number on it. Sorry.
Okay, so the reason I was asking you that is sort of because of the way you were trying to scale Naruto and Minato, right? Is that like you were trying to say like Naruto got so much faster, but the fact that you weren't really able to quantify it, all you really said was like, well, stage Naruto was like vaguely above like MS Sasuke, and then like KCM2 was like vaguely above like EMS Sasuke, who you couldn't really put a difference between MS and EMS. Then it would just be like an unquantifiable difference. So my point from earlier still kind of stands, right? His mental energy is like vastly lower, so he'd be like up to like a third, not a third, like 2/3 his strength, right? So almost a half power, and then the Kurama buff, we can't really quantify it that much. So like it would be a Minato would be like vastly weaker. Also, sorry, I totally got distracted. I'm trying to find you the scan where Tobirama like can't get to Naruto in time. Let me get it.
My biggest problem, sorry, my biggest problem with what you just said is like you're relying on this outverse like concept to quantify their speed when we can do this inverse, right? We could say like, um, the last base Naruto we saw, from Shippuden from where we're talking about would be the one that fought Kakuzu, right? And then we would say like, he gets KCM1 and he's then able to like blitz the Raikage with body flicker.
Wait, can you
Right?
define
Like we can do this
outverse?
inverse thing and like determine a blitz difference.
Wait, can you define outverse for a second?
Outverse, vaguely like not colloquially or like the exact definition. I would just say outverse is like putting an exact number on someone's like speed or like say this person's country level so it beats yours. Like if you can do it inverse and say like definitively why your character would just be above another. That's what we should be doing.
Okay.
1235.
Yeah. Cause I'm.
What? This video is no longer available in
Oh, it's not.
what?
Oh, that's an L. Hold up. Hold up.
Twitter.
Dang. Hold on. Let me see if I can find another one. Um. Crud. Yeah. Sorry. It's been a while since I've like debated against someone who's like not dumb. um. With when using like Minato.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yo, I'm glad that you're like smart, cause like the last guy I debated, oh my gosh, he was so bad. It was a yikes. All right, let me see.
Oh, I watch your channel sometimes. The third Raikage guy.
Yeah, him. Yeah. By the way, your Haku video was good overall. I liked it. Just like I think that the right Kage and Minato should be above Haku, because I do think the right Kage on his own should be faster. I guess we can get into that later, and then why Minato should be faster than him. That was the main thing I had in mind when I came here. But like when we started like talking, I got like distracted because like talking to you is fun.
It's fun. Um,
Alright, let me see. I'm looking for. Let's see. God tree drains Naruto. Let's see.
like, uh, I think I might have found it in the manga actually.
Okay,
Like I can check for myself. Uh,
cool. Because I think I found the right clip.
6. Okay. Chapter 660.
Yeah, because I had got a bunch of like the manga scans. I had this in the manga, but like I didn't save the scans to like my computer. I left them on my phone, and then I like changed phones, so I don't have like a lot of my manga scans anymore.
Uh, what I did is I went and read through the entire series and grabbed every scan and every statement for every character and just made a giant scan server, and that gives context behind everything.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
people try to, I don't know how active you debate, but people always try to jump me in debate. So I literally like wrote down like the exact scaling someone should have that's not highballed or lowballed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. I've debate. Cause I don't do it as much anymore because I've been like busy a lot lately with like YouTube and stuff. But like back when I used to like debate like all the time, um I know that like a lot of people would try and like jump me too. They would like it would be like a bunch of them and they would like come at me on something and then I would have to like debate them on like why they were like wrong or whatever. Where's the scan? Hold on.
Yeah.
This clip.
Especially now, like I guess the new meta is like me saying like sorcery is like GBDR level.
Oh, that's a yikes. Couldn't be me. Let's see. Where is it?
I found it.
Okay, cool.
I see what you I see what you're referring to. I think hopefully this is what you're referring to. Um, let's see.
Aha, I
Wait.
found it. Control
Okay.
F. Let's see. I think the timestamp is 5. About 5 minutes in.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tobirama is trying to like cut the branches of the tree, and he says, "Fourth, can you teleport directly to Naruto?" And then Minato's like, "I can't. That last flying Raijin and these branches have drained all my chakra." So Tobirama thinks that Minato could, even if you say by teleport he means like flying Raijin still depends on your reaction time. If you can't like react fast enough, then like to teleport in between the branch, because for this feat to work, for you to be able to like save Naruto in this instance, you have to be able to teleport into Naruto to like his location, and then like physically touch him, and then teleport away. So you'd have to have the reaction time to like perceive what you're planning on doing. So this would mean that Minato should be able to perceive events faster than Tobirama.
Yeah, but the only thing this shows here is this is KCM2 Minato, right?
True, but at the same
Um,
time, we already established that this is a severely weakened KCM2 Minato that should be below like a base Minato.
uh,
And if you want to go down that, because I do remember, I don't think I fully properly countered the thing about like you saying that we could not do it like an outverse way. I'm not like negating the inverse scaling. I'm just saying that the inverse scaling is a little bit vague, right? If you just say, well, he's vaguely stronger than these people, right, and not saying how much, well, I have like an exact like quantification for like how weakened Minato should be. So I think you should also have a quantification for how like much stronger he should be than like his base, and I'm like giving you how much weakened his like quote unquote amped form is, right? And if my nerf supersedes his amp, I think that's like a really big deal, and like it sort of helps to make my argument stronger, if that makes sense.
okay, so I do have some stuff I still disagree with here, so let me drop these. So I said I was aware of Minato's little days that he had when he fought against Jibito, right? But in the data book, right, it refers to it between at like it ended on chapter 644 when Naruto talked to him, right? And that was after this Gotcha thing. So at this time he's not even in his days anymore, right? So he'd be like full power KCM2 level.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. So that's a good argument. I like that. So, the thing I'm gonna use to counter that is the fact that even if he's feeling better, you like there were no real pauses in between what do you call it, in between when Naruto like makes him feel better and when this sort of Toby Rama scene happens. So and I don't know if you like meditate or do any sort of mental training IRL, but in order to sort of accumulate mental energy, you need some time. Sort of like whenever like the Nine Tails, when Naruto like needs more chakra and the Nine Tails goes and like sits down and gathers chakra. It's sort of like that, right? And Minato didn't really have any time like that to go gather more mental energy, if that makes sense.
Um, so when we said mental energy before, I believe we said in like he had this mental state, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to straw man you or anything.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much right. Yeah, he had this like
Yeah,
weird
so I
mental
don't
aura.
think, yeah. So I don't think that so if he snapped in, right, he's not having this bad mental state anymore. You're saying he has to like get his mental energy back, right? But do you disagree with resolve amps existing in Naruto?
Um, Contextually, yes.
Or like mental amps?
Yeah, I
Yeah, so in this sense, we could just say Naruto gave Minato a mental amp, right?
um to a degree. Sure, but at the same time, we know that Minato isn't fully over it, right? Because even though he's like partly over it, right? Like he's able to smile now, but at the same time, when Minato talks to Obito and to Kakashi when Kakashi's about to kill Jubito after the Biju get extracted, Minato's still pouting, right? He's still like got some inner things going on. I might be able to find the clip. I don't know. It might be unavailable like the other ones. I'll have to like re-find it. But basically, Minato's like, yeah, I know I goofed, bro. We have to make this better. Ren this, stuff like that, right? Explaining that he's still pretty butthurt over what just happened. He was slightly better, but not fully.
So yeah, I don't do like meditating or anything in like real life, right? But I do know you can talk about something and still be at peace with it, okay? Do you disagree with that?
No, I agree, but in this case, I don't think it would apply.
Why?
Because he was pouting, like he was visibly pouting.
Visibly pouting. When does Jubito come out? Like chapter 650, I think. Like,
It's in those 600 ranges. I don't remember fully though.
uh, yeah. Just so you know, all my scans do like come from Viz or whatever.
That's fine. I usually accept different translations unless I have like a counter translation that I translated myself or one of my friends did. Cause I do translate things sometimes if I like find too many contradictory like translations, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see. Okay, I'm at the page, chapter 655. If you want to look.
Yeah.
He like he like FTGs to Kakashi. I do see what you mean here.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we're talking about like in the heat of a battle, right? If he no longer has this problem and now he has a mental amp, right? Yeah, so I don't know what you're arguing here. Like, I don't want to strawman you, but like after this, he would like. Do you want to say he goes back to like this depressed, not okay state?
Um, okay, not fully. I think what
Because
happens is after Minato gets out of like when Naruto like makes him feel better, he uses like the Rasengan and he's like, yeah, my son's he's a Chad, bro. He's really good. But then when he talks to Obito, he's like, man, yeah, I goofed, this and that. And then from there, he sort of starts getting better from throughout like the rest of the war. Like that's why the Madara thing, I don't like to bring it up all the time with Jubi Madara, but I don't think it's entirely invalid because I do think that throughout the rest of that encounter, I think it is fair to say that Minato gets his mental strength like back by the end of that encounter pretty well, actually. Um, but yeah, so I think he got it like again, he got his resolve back a good bit at first, but then he got to Obito and he went back a little bit. Like he took 2 steps back, but later on he takes 3 steps forward, if that makes sense.
do you believe he had a mental amp when he fought against Jibidar? Not fought against Jibidar, but like I assume we're talking about the scene where like he flying thunder gods to like in front of A Gates guy.
Yeah, that Minato I think was like fully recovered and like doing good at that point.
Okay, so I guess this is where it comes full circle to what mind scaling is, right? I believe the most consistent scaling. I can show you everything, but like in this game here, Minato like he scales above like Orochimaru. It stated in the manga he scales above like Jiraiya, and like in this game he sparred and beat like Jiraiya and like an older Hiruzen, right? So he would like consistently be on these levels, but that's not to say he gets higher. But the problem with that comes from when he goes and he's like relative. He stayed to be relative in speed to teenage Obito, and then he stayed to be relative in speed to like Raikage A, which would be more consistent than him scaling at these ridiculous levels in the war arc. Those would just be outliers, or at least how I interpret them.
Hmm. Okay, I get what you're saying. Now, when you said, now this is, I knew you were gonna bring this up actually. So when you said he was stated he's relative to the Raikage, can we bring up what you mean by that? Like, can you show the scans that you're talking about, or scan or scans? I don't know how many it is.
Sure, it's just the I'm sure you're aware of it. A's assistant, and then the data book that says like his speed is not inferior to Minato.
Yeah, perfect. I knew, I
So
thought.
this is why I say Minato would be like KCM one level.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So here's the thing. I didn't know if you were gonna have one scan or both. So I'm gonna present my counter evidence to this. Give me a sec, because I have two main counters to this. One is I'm gonna tell you what it is, and then I'll drop the scans because I actually have these. The second one I'm really proud of, but one of them is the fact that A's. There's another translation to A's assistant, which is him saying that he's as
Yeah,
fast as
this
a
is
flash
Viz.
of light. That's Viz. Okay, now here's something else, right? Because I don't know who like translates the data books. Is that like Viz too? I'm not sure.
Only the fourth one was translated by Viz. Everything else is like I'm pretty sure it's a fan translation. I'm not fully aware.
Okay, that's
I've translated this data book myself and got the same exact thing.
Okay, so you translated this one. Are you aware that in the original Japanese it has the kanji for light? In the what do you call it? In the Raikage databook scan.
You'd have to wait. In the data book scan.
Yeah, and the one you dropped on
Um,
the bottom one right there.
sure. Show me, please.
I got you. Yeah, no problems. Yeah. Yeah, let me grab that. Yeah, cause I actually cause I have like two translations of that. One I'm assuming is like the Viz, and one is the I have the exact one you have, which you said is the Viz. So I have the Viz and what I presume is like a fan translation, and then I translated it myself. Some people say my translation is a little wonky, but it makes sense to me given the context to it. But I'll just give you like the raws, and then we can sort of discuss like why that translation is without a doubt wrong.
Okay, this is my translation, and it came up with the same thing that page said.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. Yeah, hold on one second. Where'd I put it? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, mine I whipped out a I found online. I can link it to you, but I found a Japanese English dictionary, and I translated each one of the kanji like individually, and then I found different like grammatical ways of like putting them together in like Japanese, and like what they would mean in English, like in the direct like orders and different things like that. And basically, since I'm looking for it, what it basically says is that it's talking about the scene where like Naruto blitzes the Raikage, and it says that Naruto takes after his dad when he blitzes the Raikage, and that makes him like FTL, right? Implying that like the Raikage should be light speed, and that Naruto and Minato by extension would be FTL by blitzing A. Dang, hold up. I think I might have scrolled past it. Hold up.
Um, I have some things that point that A is like not even like in the data books, right, where it states that he's like near the speed of light, which like would be like relativistic, but like blatantly in the manga saying he's not light speed. Uh,
Um, Okay, can you show me the one from the manga? I don't think I've seen that.
Sure. You're probably aware of it. I just like found it and like ran with it, I guess. Um, like a lot of people overlooked. Like I said, I read the entire thing. So this is A's talking about his assistant that says she can teleport things like at the speed of light, and
Oh,
like it's instantaneous.
that.
So like it's like the fastest thing they have.
I know
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, buddy. No, let me stop. Okay. Now let me read it to make sure I'm not like misremembering what it says. Give me a sec. Alright, let me see.
Sure.
Okay, let me see. Let's see. Do. Okay, if I remember correctly.
Oh, and can you show me the kanji thing? Because I'm interested.
Yeah, I got you. I'm still looking for it. Don't worry, don't worry. I got you. But basically, yeah, I'm sorry. I have it right here. I just gotta see where did I put it. It's in this general area. But basically, if I remember correctly, around this same section, because I did read like this part fully, and if I remember correctly, it said one of the reasons why like moving at light speed is so impressive is because like no one's body can like physically take it. But then she transports A and Tsunade, and Tsunade gets like a couple of cuts, and A is like unscathed.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm not sure about that exact thing because it's been a while since I've actually like seen it. But I do loosely remember that.
Yeah.
What's your point of this? This would just be saying like, are you saying like A's body can take like light speed movement?
Yeah, and I'm saying that because that's a confirmed fact, that A's body can tank light speed movement. It sort of negs, like in that like that was a big thing about why her transportation was like so good and like no one can handle it, right? And except for like objects, I think it was something along those lines. Like no human can like handle like light speed movement, but then A does, right? So it sort of like negs that. If you want, so here's the raw of that. If you want, I can like give you the
Yeah. Can I
translation.
attack that before we talk about that?
Yeah,
I thought you were making. I'm sorry. I thought you were making a new point. So A is saying this in reference that he is not light speed, right? So even if his and the like Raikage are known for being super durable with their lightning cloaks, right? And I'm pretty sure it was stated that like the third Raikage could take it because his lightning cloak was like so strong, and it went on to like just with a finger he like cut the eight tails tentacles with like his armor cloak. So I believe that's just with his cloak, not with like not like just because someone can take take the force of something doesn't mean they can like output that same amount.
actually, the third was the opposite. His finger attack was AP, and his durability was actually weaker than it. Actually, severely weaker than it, as a matter of fact,
Oh my
because
god.
his finger jutsu Naruto used to like one shot him basically, like with his own attack, like straight through his chest. He started like if he wasn't Edo Tensei, he would have died, and it damaged his Edo Tensei body so that it took the like everyone had enough time to seal him before he like healed fully. But yeah, so here's the
Yeah,
raw.
but do you have any contention with just the lightning cloaks?
With like the lightning, I mean the lightning cloaks are durable, but I think it's a little bit flawed to say like it scales above all of their other sets. If anything, Raikage are known for being more so fast than durable. They're known for being durable, but speed is their main thing.
Um, uh, I believe their speed is more well known. In fact, I believe there's in the same scan where it says like Sage Mode Naruto is like faster than like KCM1. Specifically like references his lightning cloak, but I'd have to check for that. So are you aware of like what Newton's third law is?
Um, Let me see. It's every action has a equal and opposite reaction, right?
Yeah, and in physics terms, it's like if I punch someone, I have to be able to like take the attack of my own punch, right? Otherwise, like my arm would just like die or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but essentially, someone can take more than what they can actually produce, right? So even if you were to say A's body could take this light speed movement, it doesn't mean he can actually run that fast.
I mean, like I said, the third Raikage is a direct, like, it doo-doos all over Newton's third law, like, really badly.
No, I don't believe it does.
Why? Why doesn't someone who has AP enough to one-shot themselves with, what's essentially, like, it was implied that, like, his spear attacks was, like, his go-to thing. So why would it, like, not break Newton's third law to have, like, an attack that you spam, like, on the daily, right? That's, way, way, way higher than your durability. Why is that not contradictory?
His arm take the attack. It doesn't say his body is, right? So I can like punt. So like, ignore the fact that like humans aren't that strong, but right, like theoretically, right, I could be able to like punch like a hole in my stomach, right? But my body, like my arm, will like still be fine.
I actually don't agree with that notion. So, here's the thing too. Also, that law is kind of vague. Like it's a little bit weird. So, but in it, not trying to go off on that derail, but basically what I'm like getting at here is that the Raikage's lightning armor, right? Why would it like be concentrated like around his finger, like to be like I don't know how much stronger you have to be to one-shot someone, but if you go by Versus Wiki, it's like 7.5 times of a difference. I don't know why, like, the armor on his arm, not even his finger, but, like, his arm, because, like you said, his whole entire arm should be able to take that force. Why the chakra on his, like, entire arm would be, like, 7.5 times weaker than the entire rest of his body. I think that's a little bit weird.
Um, when you I'm kind of confused by what you mean here. So verify wiki. Uh, okay, so my arm can tank something my body can't. Is there a problem with that?
Um, it is if you're trying to argue that like the Raikage like his durability like as a whole is greater than his like AP, because that's what you said.
I don't believe someone's AP surpassing their entire durability would like break Newton's third law. It's like with just one concentrated force.
Um, okay. So the argument here, right? I'm gonna try and clarify it a little better. Is that because the Raikage, the third Raikage to be exact, because his AP of like his spear and like I guess his arm by extension, is like so strong that it like one shots his body, right, and pretty much any other part, especially since this is backed up by the fact that like Dodai, I believe his name was, said that like his spear is stronger than his shield, which would be the entire rest of his body. Why if you think that the Raikage can tank more than he can output, and this is his entire body, because the entire reason this point matters is because we're talking about the transportation technique, like ripping apart A's body, and if this is like his durability so strong, then why does the same shield scale below, uh, its user's AP, if that makes sense.
So what we're talking about here is a concentrated attack. I believe that has a lot to do with it. So essentially, like the Raikage is building up all his chakra into like one point to go and hit his foes. He ends up hitting himself, right? And also on the notion that the third Raikage would have died, right? Wasn't it the same exact way like he lived? Like the Raikage died fighting, I believe, like 1,000 or 10,000 shinobi, right? He tanked the force of his he tanked the force of his attack before.
Um, Okay, so, yeah, he died fighting like 10,000 people. I'm assuming he like died of dehydration, because they say that after he like died after 3 days and 3 nights, which is usually the time it takes for someone to die of dehydration. But basically, right, the argument that I'm making here is like, even if you say his arm scales to this, which is fine, I already accepted that, right? Why would the rest of his body scale to this if he died? Like literally, the scar he has on his body was because he like fell on his like hand before, right? Uh, like he was about to attack the Eight Tails, but he like fell forward on his hand, and it like hurt him. and then Naruto almost killed him by just redirecting his finger. And by saying like it's a a precise blow, with the force in the small area. That's good, except for when you realize that one of the things that should make it so strong is it usually has your entire body's force behind it. Whereas when it got redirected and pierced his chest in the fight against Naruto, it was pretty much just the force of his arm, right? And like that's like saying that like any person like that can punch pretty much if they punch themselves in the chest or something would like like almost die or something. Like they would, I don't know, break their own like rib cage or something. I don't know.
Okay. So I didn't hear what you said. Like you dropped the topic of like the arm point, right? I didn't hear that. So my bad. But unless you can definitively show me that he can move at this speed, then I don't think there's really a point to arguing this anymore.
Sure, I can give you. That was, yeah, that was just me countering. That was leading up to the next thing. I can give you a bunch of other stuff because I'm just gonna give you other characters that have light speed statements and why he should be above them. So that's my next thing I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna tell you this stuff. I'm sure you've heard of
Nice.
part of it. So there's Darui's Laser Circus. I'm sure we've all heard of that by now. There's the samurai that are all like literally all of them are supposed to like swing their swords at the speed of light. Um, those are the two big ones. Also, it's the same scan that says like he moves at almost the speed of light. There's actually another translation of it that says he moves at the speed of light. Also, that's when he's doing the lariat with B, and he's holding back, right? We know that A thought that B was inferior all the way up until like pretty much the exact point of the whole like lariating each other thing, which is still debated on, but whatever you think about that, right? A still thought that B was inferior, so he was holding back. So he would logically be Lightspeed, if not FTL. Also, that should be version 1 Raikage, who's reaching those like nigh Lightspeed levels, and version 2 should be much faster.
I believe it was just referencing the lariat of it, and I dropped it. That's the one I go by. It says rushing like almost, or there's another one that I know says like near the speed of light. Either way, this would show that even with his lariat, he's not light speed. To touch on Darui, it's like light moves much slower when it's like refracted off of water. So even his jutsu is technically not even light speed. And I am aware Mifune has an attack that moves at the speed of light. I'm not aware that all samurai do.
Okay, yeah, I'm dropping all of the scans. Give me a sec, cause I actually had these prepared. So this is the raw. This is the translation. Give those a while. I hope they don't come out of order. They might. That would be annoying. Yep, they came out of order. That's so annoying. Anyway, OCD 100. Let me stop looking at that because that annoys me. Let's see. That's that. Do 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 do. Going to the Darui thing. Let me see. Technique. Let me read this one more time. Okay, so the technique that Darui uses, it said he manipulates water particles and light. Even if you think it reflects off of the water, it's still not running through the water. So even if you think like, oops, wrong thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to post that. I'm still getting used to this phone is new. I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to it. Sorry. Here we go. Um, there we go. So it says let's see, manipulates water and lightning. It leads blah 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 blah. Freely controls manipulate light rays. So it basically just says that the water and lightning, all it really does is allow him to manipulate light rays. Um, so yeah, it should be light speed.
Um, so, so he has manipulation over light rays, but as these light rays pass to the water, they become slower. And you didn't show the samurai thing, but what I picked up on from how you described it was they slash at the speed of light, and when like A goes and tells like KCM1 Naruto, there's no one been faster than me ever since like the yellow flash, right? That would be like talking about travel speed, I presume.
Why would it be travel speed?
I believe that's what you said the Raikage are known for, right? Like their actual speed and the way they travel or
No,
whatever. Like I don't know what to really say about that.
no, I just said their speed in general, like just their combat speed, because they're ninja, right? They
Okay,
should be mostly combat like oriented people anyway.
so my problem with that is like, okay, it's weird, especially like if you even go by Verso Wiki because people like use their travel speed in combat, right? Like to blitz someone, you literally have to use your travel speed in a way. We see like Raikage tries to like blitz Minato with his like V1 lariat, and then Minato like goes and teleports to the Flying Thunder Guide. So even in that context, I believe it provides like some lends some credence to the fact that it would just be travel speed, speed of light, swords. It's every sort of like Mifune, right? This is like Mifune.
Read the whole thing.
Did I miss something? Wait, by means of their military arts, they disciplined others in existence. I
Yeah.
must be a dumbass.
Oh.
In their density, when people release their sword techniques, they achieve brilliance. Am I a retard? What's going on?
No, okay, okay. No, it took me a while before I got it too. Actually, one of my friends actually pointed out, but at the very bottom, it basically says that the sword techniques, right, which would include the speed of light, sword slash, right, are passed down in the Iron Country. That's the very bottom little section right there, in the Iron Country, and the skill of the samurai is released, right, and so it's basically saying that all of the techniques are passed down, which would include the speed of light slash.
Okay, I have sorry, a voice crack. I have a question about this. Is this Mifune slash move at light speed, or is it like this exact attack moves at light speed?
Yeah, it's the technique in general.
When was this used?
Let me see. It was used. Let me see. Uh, it was used in Mifune's battle with crap Hanzo, if I remember correctly, and let me see. You can probably find some other instances, but the first thing that comes to mind is he used in his battle with Hanzo. I'm pretty sure. I might have to find it though. Let me check.
Do you think that okay, do you think that Mifune can like any samurai can do the speed of light technique, right? Because one thing I see being possible is Mifune can do it at the speed of light, but like just because Mifune and other samurai know this technique doesn't mean they can do it as good as him.
Yeah, I definitely think every samurai should be able to do this technique at the speed of light. Yeah.
Okay. Speed of light sword slash like okay, if it's really called the speed of light sword slash and a slash and that's like the actual ability, then sure. So I have two ways of going about this. One, argue that this is just in Raikage being above Minato when he references it, it's just travel speed. Or two, this is contradicted because Raikage goes and says no one's been as fast as me since Minato, which means Raikage would be like relativistic, and then he'd be faster than these samurai.
Um. So wait, you're saying that like it's contradicted by like the Raikage being stated slower than light. That's why I posted the scan earlier of the other translation that says um he performs the lariat while rushing at the speed of light.
Oh yeah.
Remember, I was like spurging about like it posted backwards. It posted like the raw, it's like after the translation. That was annoying.
Yeah, doubles in power and given a chance to activate your opponent. Let me see. Let me try this again. Uh,
Yeah, and apparently Yandex is supposed to be like pretty credible. One of my friends gave this to me. Um, yeah, I think
Okay.
that friend said like you have to pay for Yandex or something. So if you have to pay for it, hopefully the translation is good.
And technique doesn't pass. Yeah. I have a Japanese translator, and it says a speed like light.
Sure.
Um,
Okay. Um.
here.
Okay. Can you post that for me?
Yeah, I'm posting it.
Awesome.
Uh, here.
Let me see. Like at a speed like light. Yeah, at a speed like light. So that should
It's
be
not the
likely.
speed of light. I believe it'd be more consistent slower.
It could,
Oh, if
but
it's like light.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's at a speed like light, that should be like relative. Even if you say that like for some reason that it's like maybe even if you want to say like half as slow, right? Um, that's only version one Raikage doing the lariat with like B, someone who he feels is inferior. Um, I would just argue like V2 Raikage should just be twice as fast.
Why twice as fast?
Sure, it's because when he's facing Naruto, right? When he's going up against like KCM1 Naruto, he's using like V1 and they're like relative when Naruto's like holding back. And then the Raikage goes to use like V2, and then he thinks that he's gonna blitz Naruto. He doesn't just think he's gonna be like unquantifiably faster. He thinks he's gonna like blitz this man in the next week, right? And if that's the case, okay, well, I guess at that point you'd have to say like how fast do you think you need to be to speed blitz someone? Most people go by like versus wiki, which is 2 times. If you don't agree with that, we like I guess whatever number you think to speed blitz, that would be it. Although I can argue higher either way, because you can argue that it would be similar to like a Biju cloak, right? Because like Karin said like normal like I guess base Raikage. Like she didn't say anything about like how strong he was, but then V1 is supposed to like make him like Biju level. So if V2 is anything like another like Biju cloak amp, it should be at least 2 times, if not like way higher.
Yeah, so I disagree with you, but I believe the V2 is actually more of an amp than like you're saying it is. And that's just because we're not really being like toxic in this debate or anything or like ratting. So like V2 Raikage goes and like is like bullying a mentally amped KCM1 Naruto. And then like he fights against the fight against Sasuke. You know, like V1 was slower than in V2, like he blitzes him. But I definitely do think it makes you faster. But at the same time, I believe like Minato's relative to like KCM1, who V2 would be above.
Um, okay, why would you think V2 would be above V1 Naruto? Also, you do know that
That's a V1 art.
oh sorry, go on.
Fine, just
Okay, sorry, yeah. Sorry, I yelled a little bit because I got like excited because I remembered something.
go. You can go.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, no, so yeah, I yell when I get like excited, because I'm having a great old time right now. But so basically, I just remembered that Naruto in KCM1 was like I not obviously I'm exaggerating when I say this, but he was like infinitely faster than the samurai dude. Like he made them look like babies, dude. It was crazy. Like just his like clones would like crap stomp people that the samurai were like struggling with. So it would make sense that like even if you say like Minato and like is relative to like uh KCM1 Naruto, that's still like FTL, right? Because KCM1 Naruto is faster than the samurai. If you think he's faster than KCM1 Naruto, whatever, that he, Naruto KCM1 is still faster than the samurai.
You'd be arguing that the samurai is like travel speed or whatever? Like, or like, do you believe like the samurai scale to like that one attack?
Yeah, I'm saying like because if they're fighting like in the ninja war, right? Even if you say like this technique is only for like the best of the best samurai, Naruto at that point should have been above literally every samurai. Like even if you say it's only for like Mifune, I see no reason for Mifune to be above the Raikage. He's supposed to be like the fastest shinobi ever since like Minato or whatever. And Naruto again would also be above Mifune.
Yeah, so my problem with that is that it's been shown time and time again, like jutsu or attacks in Naruto are much faster than the user. You can see this with Kirin. You can see this with the truth-seeking orbs, arguably. I believe it is like consistent that an attack can be much faster than the user.
Um, okay. Here's the sort of issue with that. Even if you say like the sword swing is faster than like anything else the samurai could like dish out, if these samurai do these like light swing sword and someone's able to block it, right, and not die or dodge or whatever he does to not get cut in half. And then here comes Naruto or the Raikage or Minato or whatever, and they're supposed to be fast enough to blitz these exact same people. I think that would grant them being faster than the sword slash.
Can you show me them using this attack and people blocking it?
I would just say that it would take the least amount of assumptions, given the fact that they're fighting a world war and they're kind of trying not to all get mind hexed by the infinite Tsukuyomi. Like it would be kind of dumb for them to not use it, especially considering Naruto is supposed to be like the fastest person ever. I doubt no one knows that the sword slash exists, and A is just like, yeah, I'm the fastest person ever, and just doesn't know about the sword slash. That'd be a bit weird. Also narratively too, like even like the data books and stuff, they hype up A and Naruto and Minato. Like, Minato is supposed to have like godlike speed. If we're taking that into, not saying that these skills like Hagi or something stupid, but like, if we're taking that into account, we should at least say he's, one of the top tiers, in terms of speed, which should put him above Mifune, who's not at all a speedster.
No, so I don't believe you can just say, okay, they're in this war, right? Tensions are high, so they should be like spamming this like attack, or not even spamming. They should be like using it casually, right? I don't believe that's like enough to say that they're even blocking this attack to begin with. Because even if I granted you that they're using this attack, right, you have to show me that it's being blocked, and then Naruto is significantly faster than them. So I don't see this argument working either way.
Wait, didn't hold on. Hmm. Didn't didn't the samurai get body slammed by Amaterasu?
Well, you're talking about Five Kage Summit.
Yeah.
I believe a couple of them did.
Wouldn't that
Well,
mean?
are you still in disagreement with?
Well, no, I'm just gonna say like, wouldn't that mean that if the samurai have the capability to swing their swords at the speed of light, right? If this and they've seen Amaterasu in action. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they've seen Amaterasu in action before, right? So they should know that if they don't block this Amaterasu, that they're gonna die, right? So I see no reason for them not to whip out their strong, like fastest, quickest, like sword swing in order to block it, in order to save their lives.
So one thing I believe you're conflating is that like every single sword swing they swing, like every single time they swing the sword, it's like at the speed of light.
I didn't say
It's
that.
blatantly stated here. It's like with one special attack, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted
No,
it.
I'm saying
Um,
that in
okay,
these
so
I'm saying that in these different instances, right? These are like life or death instances, right? Sort of like how Kakashi, how he's able to like pull out like more Chidori's on like the brink of death, just because, well, he's on the brink of death and he doesn't want to die, or he wants to protect his friends or the village. Same with like other characters, right? This is a thing that's pretty common. So if they're on like these brink of death type moments, they should whip out their strongest attack. It would be kind of dumb for them not to.
yeah, essentially, in order for this argument to work, though, you have to show me they're actually using this attack. Like you're just
Why?
like not to come off with anything. You're kind of inserting this headcanon that they are going to use this attack just because their life's on the line. That doesn't mean the case. If they're not even good with this attack to begin with, because you said it's so high tier, and you said like even maybe the most elite of samurai can do it, right? They might not even be good at it if they do have some knowledge on the ability. So I don't believe that's at all like substantial proof that they were using this against Sasuke.
Um, I get where you're coming from. I do disagree. I think I made a good enough case for it though, but I will see what I can find. I'll do a quick little skim for some scans of this real quick. Let me see. Give me a sec. Um, let's see. Hmm. Where is it? Oh, by the way, I don't think I asked you yet, but how's your day going so far? Well, I guess it's night now.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Let's
see.
see.
Where is it? Let me reread the scan I sent you. Hold on, let me see. Speed of sword, speed of light slash, technique, legendary, speed of light. Let's see. Multiple wars, nations. Hmm. Okay, one sec. Okay. Hmm. Let me see. Okay. Where is it? Okay, I found the okay. So let me open up this. Okay, I think I found the raws. Okay. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Um Now, can you do me a favor and translate this? I don't have my because I translate two ways. I have this like app that I use, and then I do it by hand. And because this is a debate, I don't want to like spend like 30 hours, right now trying to translate this entire thing.
Mhm.
Um, and I still need to transfer my app from my old phone to my new one. So can you translate that for me? Like, can you do just that part and then like the whole thing, if you
Oh,
will?
yeah, sure.
Cool beans.
Actually, let me see this. He's like any relevant characters, I think. Bifune. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll translate it too, but just so um, this is what the skin's actually saying.
Yeah. Let me see. Also, I'll give you what I think this scan is referring to. In addition, because it has like a scan there, but let me see. I think I have something. Where is it? Where is it? I think the technique they're talking about, because they show in the data book, they don't actually show Mifune doing the technique, but let's see. Where is it? Right. Crud. What did I do with it? Right here. I think they're talking about this technique right here. I'm like pretty sure. Um, where is it? Here it is.
Here. This is just what my translator says. I am sure it's not as good as a human's.
Okay. It's-
Um, why is it talking about this scene?
Yeah. No, I'm saying like this is the same technique. I'm not saying it's like the exact same scene. I'm saying I'm pretty sure it's the same technique. But I'm still trying to find stuff. Hold on. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% on that. Give me a sec. Let me see. Let's see. Speed of light. Yeah, sorry. I found like a thread on it. Let me see.
Yeah. I mean, this would all be okay.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Let me see. Hold up.
Okay.
The
Do you think
scan.
that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the scan you showed, isn't it just him like waving his swords and then like a beam of light comes out? Because if so, that's the exact same thing this like random samurai does against Sasuke. Um, so it is something that samurai do use just in
I
character,
believe
kind of
it's.
randomly.
I believe it's a beam like I believe it's a special attack, and essentially, just because Mifune can do it at the speed doesn't mean everyone else can.
Um, I mean, all it
Because
really.
like they say Bijou Bomb, Beam of Light, 8 trigrams, like they're all describing actual techniques.
Um, uh, wait. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So Oh yeah, I see that. Okay. So basically what I'm saying is that if you look at the scan I posted, right? Um the movements they do, because we know that like not every time like B uses a Biju bomb or like Naruto, they don't always say it, right? They do a lot of the time, but not always, right? And these samurai are doing the similar motion, right? Um, to what Mifune did, and I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of like random like background characters, they don't say the names of like their moves all that often. Um, like the main characters do. Um, so it does look to me like it's the same move, the same light speed slash, which is all it really says in the data book, right? Is that it's like honed through like many battles or whatever, and that like the cloud, what village is it? The whatever village, use it to like doo on a bunch of people, and if that's the case, then it might be like a high level technique, but at the same time, it does make sense for like most samurai to know it, if that makes sense. And it looks like he's using it against Sasuke if you look at the scan I dropped.
Yeah. So, my only big two contentions with this is like I said before, I don't want to go on like ad nauseum, but the jutsu shouldn't scale relative to the user based off other things like Kirin. Um, what else? Even if I were to grant this speed of light samurai thing, I do believe I can definitively prove that Minato scaling to light speed would be like an outlier anyway.
Okay, sir, let me go
And
after
I
the
am translating this last thing right now.
Okay. Yeah, just let me go after the Kieran thing. The difference though between like Kieran and this is the fact that Kieran, specifically the reason that it's faster than the user, is because it uses like natural light, right? Um not light, I'm sorry, lightning. Um but the light speed slash is directly using the user's chakra, which should scale to them in some way.
So Kieran Sasuke does claim like he's utilizing his chakra, right? He makes a Chidori to guide the Kieran, and even if you weren't okay with Kieran, there are other things like shooting orbs being faster than the user. This is implied by Gara in the work. I can show you the scan if you want, where essentially Gara says like the shooting orbs, like his sand's like too slow to react to it or like to like stop the attacks, right? But then he's able to raise his sand faster than like 8 gates guy which would show that like the truth seeking orbs are like faster than the user in that case.
Can you show me that? I don't remember that.
No problem. Um, Chiha, Ara.
Yo, we need to debate again sometime. This is great.
Yeah, sure. Maybe more serious.
Okay.
Oh no. But yeah, this is like fun, like semi-formal, whatever. Here is this. Okay, it's like right, yeah, I found it. And then I'll show you like Gara like raising his hand.
Okay. By the way, let's not ignore that in that scan, Minato directly says that that's where he comes in because Gaara can't react to the orbs, but Minato thinks he can, and then he does it. But you know, I'm not arguing that. I just want to bring
I
that up.
mean,
I'm just saying.
I mean, you already said this Minato possibly had a mental amp, but it just might not have been to an extreme extent. So technically, you'd be contradicting yourself, but
I know.
it's
I
fine.
just
I
had
can
to.
easily show you Minato scaling this high would be an outlier.
Yeah, no, no, it's fine. I just had to. I just
Okay.
had to mention that,
So
dude. I
yeah,
just
this
had to.
is yes. All right. So this would show like another G2 scaling faster than its actual user. If you want, like, if you think that, I know we don't have a judge or anything, obviously, but if you think you won the samurai point, I can show you why. Even if you did win that point, it would be an outlier for Minato to scale that high in the first place, and that's because Minato should scale relative to V1A. We are both in pretty agreement that V1 is like not even massively slower, but a significant margin slower than V2, and it's stated and shown that V1 was like comparable to like KCM1 Naruto and not inferior to the Yellow Flash. So in V1, he'd be relative to Minato, and in V2, he'd be faster.
Mm, okay. Why would V1 be relative and to Minato and not V2? I don't remember that part. I might have forgot.
Sure. So we have things like here go. So this the scan that says like non-inferior. We already went over this, right? That's V1A. Then Raikage's assistant thing is V1A as well. Uh,
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. Did I
and then
real quick? I did drop the raw for the for that scan. Did you see it?
the what?
Did you see the raw I dropped for the databook scan for A for like the one that you dropped from like being relative to Minato? Yeah, I'm gonna repost it anyway. Let me.
Scrolling up. Where is it? I say you mine. I told you mine says like the same exact thing.
Okay, so yeah, this one right here. In this one, it blatantly has the kanji for light on it. In the one that you have, that's you said is the Viz one. It doesn't mention light whatsoever. So I think it's a bit like wrong to say that like your translation is correct, if that makes sense.
You're saying in this scan it says the kanji for light, or in my Jonin one it says the kanji for light.
In mine, look, I'll show you, cause this kanji right here is the kanji for light. Right here, 1 second. There, that one.
Okay. Well, we can see that when the sentence is not put, it's like sort of put together, the kanji for light doesn't matter because my translator like showed the kanji for light, but then it says this. Light words in Japanese also have multiple meanings.
Yeah. Let me see.
So, you can leave it at that. You can think like, I don't see why we need to argue about that for like 30 minutes, right?
Okay.
But we can, if we go off of mine, right? You can argue this is him saying like he's light speed or whatever. But from mine, it would be he's in V1, he's not inferior to Minato. In V1, the Jonin also goes and references him to being like having reactions on the part of Minato. We can see that V1A is capable of like taking down KCM1 Naruto pretty easily.
Um. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like sort of like you were saying, it all sort of goes off of like which translations you wanna like go with. If we go with your translation, you would be right. If we go with mine, I'm pretty sure I would be right. Um. Like, because there is pretty consistent stuff like the Daroe thing, right? The Raikage should scale above that pretty comfortably. And also I still think Minato should scale to version 2 Raikage, right? Even if you say like, well, version 1 Raikage might not be Lightspeed, version 2 is. If we go off of that, I think Minato still has stuff above above V2 Raikage, right? Like like for example, let me see if I can think of something. The Raikage. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit tired. When the Raikage fights, let me see. Let's see, what's a good example? When he
Okay.
fights. Oh,
Um,
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
When he fights Madara, Onoki is still able
Okay.
to react to him. Did you know that?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Are you aware that Onoki reacted to V2A?
Reacted to V2A. I don't see why that would matter. Can you explain the relevance of that?
Yeah, okay. So that matters because when Onoki and like the rest of the five Kage were like fighting the Buddha statue, right? The true several hundred hands. Um Hiruzen comes in and outperforms
Mhm.
Onoki and like everyone else there. And then that's the same Hiruzen that's supposed to be below Minato in terms of speed.
Why is he below Minato? Because as far as I know, he doesn't have his chakra problems like he did as alive. But before I forget, okay, I want to show this for the kanji that you showed. I was right in the sense that they do have multiple words because your kanji gives the kanji for flash and light, okay? And we can clearly see in like my translation, it says like just like the yellow flash. That would just be referring to Minato. It wouldn't mean he's like light speed through that translation.
Sure, can you find the kanji for yellow in there?
Kanji for yellow.
Because all that mean is it's saying that the Raikage is fast as a flash, right? Which is still consistent with what I'm saying. Because if it's just flash and not yellow flash, then my argument still holds.
Which one is it? It's there. There you go.
Amarillo. Okay, one sec.
Actually, let me go back here. It shows individually what words it's translating.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, can you Okay, wait. I think okay. So can you translate, let's see. These kanji, let me get this. This is interesting. Yeah, I like having multiple translations for things. Let me see. Where is it? Do 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 do. Um, I'm gonna highlight it.
Yeah, it clearly does give the translation for like yellow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because since you brought up like multiple meaning words, I don't know. Let me see. I want you to do this last part here, and then
Okay.
we can move on to another point after that.
Yeah. Um, this is gonna sound really like freaking ghetto, right? I have this like retarded translator. I have 5 translations a day. So after this, like this is it.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
It's
Um,
the last thing I can translate
I
on the app.
Yo, you might have the same app that I do. That's why let me see. Let's see. Can I power up my old phone? Where did I put it? Hold up. Cuz I want to see if you have the same app as me. This might be interesting. Cuz the app cuz I kept translating different ooh, hold up. That's not the right old phone. I have a bunch of like old phones that don't work anymore. So yeah, hold on. And two of them are like identical. All right. Cuz I got the same translator app and I actually let me give you the website that I use. Hold on. I'm gonna go into here.
Your app looks like that, and it's mine, but I did translate that one small portion.
Okay. Let me see. Do 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 do. Where did I put it? Okay. Where is it? Sorry about this. I'm trying to find the English Japanese dictionary. Where did I put it? Huh.
So this is just a little confusing here. So I've gone to your server twice, gotten verified twice, and I've gotten banned twice when I didn't do anything.
You got banned? What? Okay, hold on. There might be a corrupt mod. I need to.
I'm not banned. I believe I got kicked.
Oh, the server was
I don't know for
raided.
sure. I don't remember leaving.
Yeah, the server was raided a couple
My bad.
times. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought
I
she.
was supposed to debate somebody in there on like Itachi versus Minato.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Okay. Crap, I couldn't find it. Dang, that's kind of an L. Hmm. Alright. Hold on. Give me one sec. Holy crap, these notifications. Is the name of your app actually? Yo, that's literally the same one. It's called Scan and Translate, right?
Uh, let's see. Yes. Well, scanner translator, at least mine, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the exact same app I used, and I've noticed that when I used that translator, it's not as accurate as doing it by hand. I'm trying to find what I did with that the link to the English Japanese dictionary, so I can see if I could show you the exact thing. I don't want to get too hung up on this though.
One thing that I think is important from like the difference between what you're doing and what like this is actually doing is like when you look at these words, you do them individually. Where this looks at the context of like what the sentence is and says like what's more than likely like um reference like where they're referencing this word, right? Like how you said, oh, this means light. Well, it also has the meaning of yellow, of flash, right? And you put them together as yellow flash.
I get what you mean, although I did do some of the phrases together, and but it could have just been my interpretation, cause I did do what do you call it? Oh, actually, I'm just gonna drop you my translation, and I'll tell you um like uh like the context, cause um that's something, because where is it? Where is it? Okay. Because the scan says something and I didn't put the translation to what I translated it to. But um let me give it to you, because I didn't post it before, but check my translation. This is when I um this is when I crap, I can't speak. This is when I translated it by hand. Now, what I did was uh I did all the kanji, and I did them in pairs, and then I did not in pairs. And it still mentions the yellow flash in mine, right? But it also mentions not being inferior to light. This is sort of, I tried to articulate this like just by telling you, but it didn't come out properly. Because I've been munching on popcorn this entire time, and popcorn distracts me. But what do you call it? So in this translation that I have, since we're doing the translation approach, um, it does mention the yellow flash, right? It says taking after his deceased dad uh in Nine Tails mode, Naruto boasts godly speed not inferior to light. That's sort of what I was getting at, right? Um, and I think this translation would actually be more consistent than a bunch of the other ones, because there's another translation, like you said, it's probably not like Viz, but there's another translation of that guide that does say like the Raikage is like not inferior to light or whatever. So, what do you think about that?
So my problem with what you're saying is, if we go by this translation, it says the words like it says, what is it? Godly speed, not for like. Okay. So for one, the guidebook scan I got from originally, right? It's from like some secondary source of someone who actually like translates. And yours, you tried saying like the kanji shows light, so it's true, right? But it doesn't need to mean the same thing. And yours is comes like no, maybe it's not, right? But it just looks like a more simplified version. And I don't know. I guess I don't see the validity in this.
So you're saying that
After is
because
dice. What is dissect?
so you're saying that because like,
Okay, that's the problem. That's wait. I found another problem.
go for it.
Is the kanji for flash mentioned twice here?
Let me see. Yeah, it's the same. It's let me see. Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
see. It's not the one for
I
light,
don't think it is.
but the kanji for light is not mentioned twice here. But let me see. Uh, the it's one of the kanjis I translated did translate to flash, or it was like a couple kanjis. Let me see. Crap, I'm trying to find this website. Hold up. It was literally here. I had it. It was I had DM'd it. It should be in my DMs somewhere. Where is it?
I don't want to go into ad nauseum and keep debating this for like a while. So after this, we can like move on.
Okay. Although to be fair, we've been on the same point, but we've been moving on to new subpoints, so it doesn't really classify as ad nauseum. But I get what you mean. We can move on. We've been on this for a while. Let's see. Where did I put it? I know I have it. Yeah, sorry. I've transitioned phones, and it's a little bit hard for me to find some of my stuff. Crud. Let's see. I'm gonna look for it just a little bit longer, and then we can move on. Let's see. Let's see. Do. Just a little bit. Let's see. That's a speed calculator. Dang, I don't have it anymore. That's an L. Anyway, I'll send it to you later. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. What points have we been over already? Do you remember?
We've been over quite a bit, but I was just showing. Okay, so this was just about showing you that like Minato wouldn't be relative to like V2A, but rather just V1.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's the point we
So
were on.
again, we don't judges here, but like if we go off my yeah. So if we don't have well, we do have contention here, obviously, right? But if we went about my line, right? V1 Raikage was bullying KCM1 Naruto, right? Um, Naruto then got a mental him because Raikage started trashing Minato, and then Raikage went B2 and kept bodying this stronger Naruto, right? And then here we go, and we see the data books say he's not inferior to Minato in V1. We have A's assistant that says, he's like has reactions on par with Minato in V1. Now, whether you think, they say something about light, that's more about proving Minato's light speed rather than he would scale to like V1A.
Yeah. Yeah, the main thing I
Do
wanted
you
to
disagree with anything
um
there, other than that we haven't been over?
yeah, the main thing wasn't that like I don't want to say on like whether or not Minato's faster than A for too long, cuz the main thing was just like A is this speed in V1. I still think he's in V1 cuz the stuff I presented earlier with the light with Darui controlling light and Mifune and the other samurai. I still think that stuff still holds up to the Raikage and Minato. V1 Raikage and Minato, I think they should still be in those light speed ranges.
Um, okay, is that everything?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Let's see. We go over everything? Okay, I don't know. I guess just a small little summary. Though it doesn't scale to the higher tiers in the war arc, those are shown to be outliers because Minato would scale in relative in speed to like teenage Obito. And if you were to say like teenage Obito is relative in speed to Minato, you'd also be saying that teenage Obito is relative in speed to like A Gates Guy or Toby Rama, as you said. When Toby Rama says the fort's better at teleporting than me, that's just like the overall technique. He doesn't need to be faster than him just because it's a speed technique. Minato was in days, yeah. Darui's thing is like it's not light speed at all. It's reflecting off water, which would slow it down, so it'd be like more closer to uh, freaking. Well, I'm not relativistic.
High end
Mifune,
relative.
I think was a stronger point that you made, but as far as okay, I think Mifune and the Samurai was one of the stronger points you made, but we can clearly see like Raikage is he knows of the Samurai, right? And he still feels he's stronger than them, not stronger, faster. This would show that not all jutsu skills the user, and I think I showed that with the truth seeking orbs. And or this would be in like travel speed, where I told you like Raikage tried to like blitz Minato with his travel speed. Um, I then went and demonstrated that like Minato was only relative in speed to like V1A rather than V2, which and I know you didn't argue it, it's fine, but like it was that mentally up Naruto that with body flicker dodged the Raikage, but we didn't go over it, so I'm not gonna like hold you to it. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wanna say anything or are we done?
Yeah. The main points that I think that I won, and that the ones I tried to stick on that really mattered was, like you said, the samurai one. Cause like you did bring up like Raikage might be like faster in terms of travel speed, but you also brought up like he also blitzes people in combat with his travel speed, which still kind of my point still sort of stands. The Nine Tails thing, I don't think you countered that one fully. Um, and Toby Rama, I think scaling to Minato all is contentious. I don't think he fully debunked it, and yeah, I think those were the main things. Everything else, I think, are like too up in the air, or a couple of the points I just sort of like didn't want to go on. So those are yours, I guess. That's pretty much it.
All right, nice. Actually, getting to talk to you, cool geek. I'm about to go to bed.
All right, all right. Talk to you later, man. Oh wait, real quick, one last thing.
Wait.
Can I ask you? Oh dang, whoops, rip. Anyway, alright, I guess I'll end off this recording. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll leave a link to Khetzy's channel in the description. Um, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. For me and him, the Cool Geek out. Bye.